today's video, I'm going to show you 5 of my favourite features in DxO's PhotoLab 9. Features that may convince you to switch from other editing programs. If you're like me and you've been using Lightroom for most of your professional career, you kind of get used to it and you just keep using it because it's what you're familiar with. But after using some of the features in PhotoLab 9, I do wonder why Lightroom is so popular. Not only is PhotoLab 9 more powerful in my opinion, it's also not as expensive. You just pay once for it and you can use it forever. There's no hidden costs or monthly costs. It's a one-time purchase. So let's head onto the computer and take a look at PhotoLab 9. One of the standout features for me on PhotoLab 9 is the noise reduction. So as you can see here, there's quite a lot of coloured noise in the image. I shot this at 3200 ISO. It was a test image as I got into the studio and I just didn't think about the settings for whatever reason. But here we are, here's the image. And if you see here on the right, you have this denoising and demosaicing. Click this on and the noise is just pretty much obliterated. Now this is just on the standard mode. Then we can go to Deep Prime 3, and this is an even more sort of aggressive filter, but it uses AI and stuff like that. Then we have another Deep Prime filter, and all of these slightly change how strong the noise reduction is. But as you can see from the results, it looks so good. We can go back to standard again, and you can just see the difference when we turn it off. Look at that. Let me zoom in a little bit more on the image. So you can see the noise around here. Denoise on, completely gone. Absolutely amazing. Another great feature is the DxO modules. So similar to Lightroom, DxO will download body and lens combinations to correct your images. This means fixing things like vignetting, lens distortion, but it's very easy to do. You just open up your photo and it's done. This process is typically automatic. As soon as you click on your photo, it will prompt you to download the modules. Sometimes you'll get what is called a DxO module ambiguity, and what you'll have to do is select what lens you have from a selection. So for example, with this image, it's asking me if I shot this on the Sony FE 24-105 or the Sigma 24-105. Now this is likely because they have similar product numbers or something like that, or metadata, so DxO doesn't know for sure, but you have an option to choose, which I think is great. Every time you open an image with those modules, you'll see that they're auto applied. So see, for example, here on distortion, we have auto with DxO module. And that is great. As soon as you open your photos, it's just done for you. Another feature I really love is the control over color. So by default, DxO's color profile is already miles ahead of Lightroom's. In fact, if you look at this image here on screen and compare it to Lightroom's color profile, Lightroom looks incredibly dull and boring and lifeless. And it's really strange because I'd never noticed this before until using PhotoLab 9, how much more vibrant and lifelike these images actually look. But if you want to, you can really dig into the different color settings and change your image based on your preference. For example, on here, we can choose different types of color rendering. So we have our camera body, so it will automatically use the color rendering based on the Sony camera system. Or we can use color positive film, which gives this more sort of filmic image. And that's really nice, and you can even choose from these various different options as well. And these look great. I mean, look how good these emulations are. And this is all included in PhotoLab 9. You can also adjust the intensity if you feel like it's a little bit overdone. Another great feature is PhotoLab's exposure controls. So an image like this is incredibly challenging. You've got the light coming in from the back, the dress is quite blown out, but how do you light someone within a car when you don't have extra lights, for example? It's a very challenging scenario. But with PhotoLab 9, you've got some really great features to try and bring back some of this detail and even out the shot. So the first one I want to show you is smart lighting. So we simply toggle this on, and you can adjust the intensity here, and you can see what you end up with is this kind of HDR effect, which I'm not a big fan of. But if you change to spot weighted, and you can use tools here to select faces and specific areas you don't want to be too affected, you can then adjust the intensity, and as you can see, we're bringing down the brightness here on the veil and the dress, but the faces stay pretty clear as they were before. You can also adjust the exposure entirely and focus on highlight priorities. So you can see here with highlight priority strong, we're really bringing down the image so that the veil and the dress isn't too overexposed. Obviously with this image, some of the data has been lost because it has been so overexposed, but still it does a great job at trying to protect those highlights. Then you have your DxO Clearview Plus, and you can adjust the intensity here, but that really does make the image look kind of HDR, which I'm not a huge fan of. But if you just want to increase this a little bit, just to bring in some of those details, that is a fantastic feature. So here's the image with no corrections on at all, and here is the image with our DxO corrections. So a huge difference, and of course how intense you go with these corrections is completely based on your personal preference, but there's tons you can do here to improve your photos. Another thing I love about DxO PhotoLab is the fact that you don't have catalogs. So I've been using catalogs on Lightroom for years. They get really bloated, they can corrupt, they just make using Lightroom a lot more complicated, and also you have to back it up all the time, which just makes the file bigger and bigger and bigger. What's really nice about PhotoLab is that instead of having a big catalog, it just adds a little DOP file next to your images which hold the edits. As long as this DOP file stays in this folder, you'll be able to take this folder onto various different computers, open up the image in PhotoLab 9, and the edit should still be there. And the last thing I really want to emphasize about PhotoLab 9 is the fact that you can do all of this with no subscriptions. So there's no need to keep paying every single month to use this. You just pay once and then you can use all of the features for as long as you like. And this software isn't particularly expensive either, especially when you consider the features you're getting here for the price. Out of all of these features, the noise reduction is probably my absolute favorite. It just works incredibly well all of the time. If you're interested in getting PhotoLab 9, there's a big discount now with the Black Friday sales, and if you use the code JACK15, you'll get even more off the price. And once the Black Friday sales are over, you can still use the code JACK15 to get 15% off. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, it really helps out my channel. If you want to see more of my videos, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified when I upload another video. If you want to stick around, there's a couple of videos up on the screen now, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.